I met Prince twice.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
how did that go?
dude?
I met Prince twice.
In what context? And
And what? Here's the context. The context was a 1999 album had just dropped a couple of weeks before, and he walks into the tape room, and he's got the big dude with him named Chick, who has passed away, but his bodyguard, he's got him with him, and Prince is the most immaculate. You could eat off of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, every hair is in place. I mean, he is just immaculate. I've never seen a more immaculate human being in my life. And I said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And he kind of did this thing. I said, "Oh no, man, come on, you got to come over here and give me some love because I talk good about you."
Yeah.
And I had been for years talking about how great I thought Prince
Yeah.
could be.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew a situation where Warner Brothers had thought about getting rid of him and dropping him because there was a problem child. That's what they called him. And I actually talked to a executive and said, "Man, don't do that. Don't let him go. He's going to be huge. Let him do."
Now,
what
how
he's
are you in a
doing."
position to talk to an executive and express that?
Because I was worked at Tower Records.
Oh, so they sent their people.
So
to,
they-
Andy Skip Godley.
So they
Yeah.
they would come around. The record reps there all had RCA, Warner Brothers Electric Atlantic was one thing. There were a couple. I can't think of all the other ones, but all of them had reps in
Yeah.
that Capitol. They all had reps in the Bay Area.
Okay.
There in San Francisco. So even here at one point, this is very interesting. Even here, at least for me, even here at one point, they had record reps. Back in this, before I left in the 80s, they had a guy that worked for RCA here. I knew a guy that worked for Arista here. They lived, in Kansas City. So they would go around to the record stores and talk to, the people that worked there, and bring people, to meet you and,
Okay.
So that's how I knew these people.
All right. So you were they were in Tower Records one day, and you
Yeah.
overheard them, or just in the course of them.
Yeah, no, the record rep came in and with the executive, and they introduced me and, we start talking, and in the course of talking,
You just
I
dropped
bought a
Prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
I bought a Prince. Well, man,
You
what
gotta
are
get
you
rid of this
guys
guy.
doing with Prince? He goes, well, I don't know. In fact, we're going to have, I had two things like this where we're going to have a meeting about him because I don't know. I said, oh man, no, don't let him go. He's got something. He's got, and at this point he had done, the first album had one rock thing on it called Take Me, I'm Yours. And I went, if he goes that direction, he's going to be huge. And every album he would do something more rockier. And then he came to Dirty Mind, which was just,
Yeah.
and I said, dude, don't let him go. He's going to be amazing. Stick with him. Trust me. And so anyway, Prince comes to the store. He nods. I said, oh, man, come on. Just give me some love because I talk really good about you. I didn't tell him what. But
Right.
I talk, come on over here and shake my hand. Then he came over. He had a glove on.
He's a smaller guy. He was a smaller guy.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Way small. And he shook my hand. I said, cool, man. Tell me if you need something, let me know. And I left him alone. And then he came up. I said, listen, before you leave, would you do some autographs for me? He said, who are they for? He has that low voice. Who are they for? I said, they're for me, man. Come on. What do you mean who are they for? They're for me. I'm a big fan. And so he said, okay, before I leave. And I said, cool. So he did, and a couple other people, he signed some stuff from him. And I should have bought those. But anyway.
You do have those, though.
Yes. And I was so poor at that point, I just had him sign the sleeves. So therefore, I could take the sleeves and take the record I had and put the sleeves in. I didn't put it on the covers.
Yeah.
But anyway, he signed a Dirty Mind. He signed 1999, the inside covers.
God.
And so he left, and a couple of days later, Chick came in by himself, and he said, he walked up to me and said, you kind of got to him. I said, why? He said, nobody talks to him like that. Nobody talks. Everybody says yes and is quiet. You're the first person in a long time that threw him off.
Well, you're a personal guy, so
You know.
you know.
And I just said, well, whatever. And then, so I had worked for Warner Brothers. At this point, I had a little job for half a second at Warner Brothers.
All right.
And Prince toured the 1999 tour. And I got backstage, you know.
Wow, you were backstage.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there with all the, and at that time, I still think about it. He was going through a flux of people there in his band, but it was the band. It was the blonde Jill Jones, who was in the 1999 The Blonde, her, and anyway, I don't remember who else. It's been a while, and he walks in, and there's this wooden box next to me, and he opens up the box, and in it are his clothes, and he's looking at his clothes, and he's looking at them, and he looks at me and he goes, "You look familiar." I said, "Tower Records," and he puts out this big smile. And he goes, "I remember you."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you basically saved his career to begin with. So he should remember you, for God's sakes. You know. Man, what a deal.
Yeah, I don't know if I saved his career, but I definitely
what a memory.
talked about it. Yeah.
You know?
But he remembered me, which was it was cool, man. It was very like, wow, Prince remembered me. What?
That's remarkable. Dude.
Yeah.
That's really remarkable.
Yeah.